awful lot like naive present bias, right? So the logic goes like this. The immediate cost and delayed benefit, when the immediate cost of gym attendance and the delayed benefit in health terms of gym attendance are both in the future. That's to say, when you're sitting there deciding whether or not to buy a membership, the naive prefers a plan of going to the gym a lot, believes they will do so, and so they pay a little bit of money to get cheap visits. That is caused by misprediction on the naive's part, because they are, as Andrew so eloquently said, dumb. So that's a misprediction that's caused by irrational expectations. The monthly membership is the cheaper way to implement the preferred plan, so they go for it, and then suddenly when they actually get to the dreaded day of having to go to the gym, the immediate cost is in the present, it suddenly outweighs the benefit. And this is a self-control problem which is caused by irrational preferences. And I just highlight this tangentially. We are talking about two different things. We're talking about irrationality of preferences, irrationality of expectations. Both the naive and the sophisticate have irrational preferences. The naive also has irrational expectations. Note, however, that the results in Malmondier and Delvigne and Malmondier are also consistent with sophistication in a way that is exactly what you guys were just talking about, right? No, sorry, it's the opposite of what you guys were just talking about. Sophisticates also prefer a plan of exercising a lot, but they realize they won't follow through, right? So they don't have irrational expectations. They predict that they aren't actually that likely to go to the gym a lot in the future. Unlimited attendance means that the immediate cost is reduced, right? I don't want to have to pay the effort cost of getting up out of bed plus $10, right? The immediate cost of $10. I want to be able to say, look, if I can just convince myself to get out of bed, then the rest is a free ride, okay? So the monthly membership is similar to a kind of a commitment device, in a way. And then we want to know, so then they're willing to pay a premium, an extra amount, in exchange for this motivational benefit. So even though the membership, they only go 4.3 times. So in terms of the money they save, they only save $43, which means that there's a sort of, what we're suggesting is that there's a commitment value to them of a little bit, of about $27, right? From the fact that the membership helps them to get out the door. Yeah? Okay. So we're going to actually see, so let me back up before we come back. So how would we know if the Delvigne and Malmondier results are caused by naivete or sophistication? They're not able to pin it down from the data that I showed you, but they go a step further, and they find that members also procrastinate canceling their memberships, right? No, I'm going to go, I'm not going to cancel it. No, I'm going to go next time, I want to cancel it. Or they're procrastinating and saying, oh, I'll cancel it tomorrow, Probably a combination of both. Before canceling, consumers go for about 2.5 months on average without using the membership at all, which causes them an average cost of $187, right, on a membership for which they got absolutely nothing. The estimated transaction cost of cancellation is $15. And what Stefano and Ulrike do is that they go and get them estimates of the long-term health benefits of exercise from public health literature, and they find that this degree of costly delay, right, this many months of delay when the transaction cost is so small, can only be explained by naivete, right, because the sophisticate simply wouldn't procrastinate that much, or would not mispredict their likelihood of actually suddenly turning around and going to the gym next month. Okay, so this reinforces the naivete explanation. It doesn't prove anything about these results, right? It very strongly suggests that the cancellation results must be caused by naivete. Okay, so before I go on to the self-aggrandizing exercise of showing you my own research, let me stop for a moment to talk about this statement. The monthly membership is similar to a commitment device. So from the standpoint of public policy, or what we call choice architecture design, if you've spent any time reading the nudge literature, there's basically two ways that public policy or a firm or anybody else, like if you're engaged in the business of trying to change people's behavior, either for their benefit or your benefit, there's two ways, roughly speaking, that we have for dealing with present bias preferences. Okay, and the first way, right, what we've seen is that people make bad choices when there are costs or benefits in the immediate present. Right, they make better choices, or are capable of making better choices when all costs and benefits are in the future. So one of the mechanisms we have at our disposal is to take the decision away from the beta self. Right? So move the decision from a point in time when the beta self is active to a point in time when the beta self is not active. Right? So this is what we typically mean by a commitment device. Before I start playing this game, let me make a binding decision about when I will stop. In other words, in the case of the experiment that I conducted with a co-author, let me actually say 10 games, and then you will actually prevent me from accessing the server. Right? So that's taking the decision away from the beta self. If you're interested, we can talk after the class about you accessing this device. The second way, right, is that we can say, okay, the reason that you're making these potentially suboptimal choices is because you're focusing too much of your decision-making attention on the present, on a particular point in time. And instead of weighing sort of the benefits and costs over time evenly, you're overemphasizing the sort of benefits and costs that show up immediately. So let's just go in and tweak those incentives, right? Let's just go and change the benefit-cost analysis in the present, okay? And we do that by giving people sort of changing their short-term, so we give people short-term or immediate incentives, okay? Or penalties. Okay, so I'll pay you. You can't get out of bed. I'll pay you to get out of bed. You can't get out of bed. I'll come and roll you out. Roll you out of bed would be a commitment device. But changing people's incentives in the short term, either positively or negatively, right? By giving them an immediate penalty if they're tempted by something. So that's the soda tax, right? I think university policy prevents me from suggesting how you should vote on Measure D. But you know what I would say. So we can do that. We can do a soda tax. We can pay people to go to the gym, right? In one case, it's a tempting good, immediate rewards. In one case, it's sort of something with immediate costs, an aversive good, like going to the gym. Fine. This gym membership idea, what we're talking about here, this unlimited attendance, it's basically doing both, right? What it's doing is it's saying, when I'm in my delta self, I would like to make a decision to pay you up front to change my short-term incentives in the future. Okay, so it's a combination of the two. You're not binding yourself to go to the gym. It's not like you're paying someone to come and do what I do to my girlfriend most mornings, which is to just pull the covers off and dump her out of bed. The commitment is to say, change my short-term cost-benefit analysis. Okay. As is so often the case in behavioral economics, if you really want to sort this out, you have to conduct an experiment, because there's only so far we can dig into people's psychology by observing things in the real world. So this is if you go to any website, if you go and Google how to teach a college class, one of the very first things you'll see is don't teach your own research. But I'm going to violate that rule because this is actually the only study that does this yet. Here's what we did. This is Matt Leedy, who is an assistant professor at the London School of Economics and a former classmate of mine. So we offered subjects an actual commitment contract. This is where you pay me money and I will give you a positive incentive. I will pay you to go to the gym. You pay me in advance, I will pay you to go to the gym. Okay, so the contract pays subjects each time they attend the gym. In particular, the contract was for a particular week in the future, and it paid you a fixed amount for every day that you attended the gym. So attending more than once a day didn't do you any good. Then we elicited their predictions of their future attendance if they had that contract. Okay, if you wound up with this contract, how many times do you think you would go that week, right? Subject to the incentives that you would have. And then we look for definitive evidence of naivete versus sophistication in the ways that we've already talked about. Okay, naives will never pay more than the face value of the contract. Sophisticates will never mispredict their future attendance. Okay, so if we see people paying more than the face value of the contract, that means that it has to mean that they're sophisticated. And if we see people mispredicting their future attendance, because we go and we actually explicitly ask them to make these predictions, if we see them mispredicting, then they must be naive. Okay, now I'm going to abuse you with another game tree. Because I want to, before we go, because this is typically the kind of exercise you have to do when you're doing this kind of research, let's confirm that these two conclusions right here, are correct using a simple model and a game tree. Okay? So here's the model. There are 3 time periods, 1, 2, and 3. So this is going to be, I'm modeling the decision whether or not to buy the contract, and then follow that up with a single decision of whether or not to attend the gym a single time. And that will be enough to get the insights that we're looking for. So in period 1, you're deciding whether or not to buy the contract. In period 2, you're deciding whether or not to go to the gym. And in period 3 is this mysterious thing similar to what you've already seen on a problem set, where in period 3 you experience long-term health benefits. Now, period 3 basically means the whole of the rest of your life after the day you go to the gym. And we're comfortable doing that because we're going to assume delta equal to 1. So basically what we really had in mind here, actually it doesn't even matter that we assume delta equal to 1. What we're really thinking is, you buy a contract, on Monday. A week later, you're deciding whether or not to go to the gym. There is a net present value of the lifetime stream of health benefits that you will get from going to the gym that one time. And you will get that net present value as soon as you leave the gym, right? So you will experience this, right? You're familiar with net present value. So the fact that all those health benefits are actually stretched out in time, and some of them are 20 or 30 years away, doesn't matter for the model. I'm just going to say they're in the future, and whatever that total value is of the long-term benefits, I'm just going to call it the net present value of the future health benefits. Fine. So I have 3 periods. Payoffs go like this. You pay F for the contract. There's an immediate effort cost of gym attendance C. I'm assuming that, like Daniela and I, you don't like going to the gym. Sorry, did I mispredict? Just based on your game playing, I figured we probably have enough in common that we both don't like going to the gym. The payment per visit, right? Without a contract, you pay 0. That's just you bought a gym membership. In the experiment, we actually bought everybody a gym membership. And then if you buy the contract, then you get this positive P payment every time you go to the gym. Okay, there's a delayed health benefit of B. That's what I was just talking about. And all other utilities normalized to 0. So if you don't go to the gym, your immediate utility is 0. No cost, no benefit. Fine. We'll assume delta equal to 1, which is fine because this is all unfolding over very short time periods, a few weeks, and beta less than 1, but we don't know how much less. Okay? So I say this is a game tree for Ackland Levy. What it actually is, it's a game tree for that model that I just wrote down. Let's look at the decision tree that people are faced with. Okay, so t equals 1. I don't like this board. Do I like this board any better? Yes, I do. So at t equals 1, you're faced with a decision to either buy a contract or don't buy. Okay? At period 2, time 2, you're faced with a decision to either go to the gym, attend, or don't attend. Oh, this is supposed to be on the slide. I'm writing it on the board because I want to have access to it. So it's that. Okay? Same thing here. Okay? 2 different cells. Now what we're going to do, actually make those a little bit shorter. What we're going to do is fill in the utilities here. We're going to fill in the utilities and the predictions of future utilities you have. And I'm going to do it on the board rather than on the screen, like I said, because I want to have access to it when I move things forward. So let's think this through. If I choose to buy, then I'm paying F. Okay, so my utility, so we're talking about the payoffs from the perspective of time period 1, when you're deciding whether or not to buy. So you're going to pay an immediate cost of F. Okay, so utility is going to include a negative F. If you pay for the contract and then don't attend, then from the standpoint of period 1, the only utility for you is the negative F. You pay for this contract and didn't get anything out of it. If you attend, you're going to pay that F, and then you're going to get, in the future, you're going to pay a cost, right, C, because you have to go to the gym. In the future, you're going to get the reward P, that I pay you when you go to the gym, and in the future, you're going to get the delayed health benefit B. So all these things are out in the future. So you're going to get B plus P minus C, all in the future, which means you're going to discount it, and then you're going to have to pay that fee, which is not discounted, because this is all from the perspective of time period 1. Yeah? Okay? Meanwhile, if you don't buy the contract and you don't go to the gym, that's just 0. And if you don't buy the contract and then you do choose to attend, so there's not going to be any F in this, you spared yourself that. Again, everything is in the future, so you're going to get the health benefit B minus the cost of going to the effort cost of going to the gym, and you're going to discount all of that by beta, or a somewhat funky looking heart. It's not an improvement. Here we go. Okay. You have to love this job. They couldn't pay you enough. So this is from the perspective of time period 1. Yes? So the cost here, C, is the effort cost of going to the gym. Yeah, because going to the gym feels just as crappy either way. So this is the difference, is the P. This is the money that I'll pay you to go to the gym if you've purchased the contract. So that's the only difference here, is that you're going to pay me F up front, and I'm going to pay you P to make you go, or to get you to go. If you don't buy, if you don't buy, it's free to go to the gym. So this is a situation where I've already bought you a membership. Okay? Yeah. So the contract isn't a membership contract. It's now a commitment contract. This is a different beast. Okay? It was not possible to identify naivete versus sophistication just on the basis of observing people's membership decisions. What we did was we went and created a whole different kind of contract. And then it was necessary to make sure that they all had free entry to the gym. So we bought them all a membership. I don't know how it is now, but back then it cost $10 a semester. Yeah. This model is 1 day. The actual experiment was over chunks of weeks. So let's say this is 1 day, this is another day. They're not necessarily, to make it simple, say this is a decision that you make at the beginning of the semester. Should I buy a commitment contract for the rest of the semester? And this is some day down the road, and it might be a week later, it might be a month later.
But you might go like twice. Like what fee goes into that?
So P is just how much I pay you if you go to the gym. So here's a possibility. You're going to pay me $100, and then I'm going to give you 10 back, which means that you think $10 is enough to get you to go to the gym, and going to the gym is worth an extra 90 to you. This will make more sense in a few minutes. Okay. Now we need the payoffs for the second player. That's to say, we need to know this person's preferences as of period 2. Now, F is not implicated because F is a sunk cost by the time you get to period 2, right? Player 2, you getting up in the morning, if you're sitting there going, I don't want to waste my money on the contract, that's the sunk cost fallacy, and you should have learned about that in Econ 1. So we're going to forget about F, and what we're going to do is we're going to say, now when you're getting up in the morning deciding whether or not to go to the gym, the cost, right, is no longer discounted because the cost is immediate. You have to get out of bed now. It would be great if you could get out of bed tomorrow in order to go to the gym today. The price that I'm going to pay you is also immediate, so that's no longer discounted. The benefit is still discounted. So what you're looking at is I'm going to get the discounted long-term health benefit, plus I'm going to get the undiscounted payment that you give me minus the cost of getting out of bed, and F is no longer part of this because I paid F in the past. If you don't attend, you get 0, and then here, this is the same thing. The long-term health benefit is still discounted, the cost isn't. So you're just going to get beta B minus C, and again, if you don't go, you get 0, regardless of whether or not you bought a contract. Does that all make sense? You get why I'm not including F? You get why certain things come out from behind the beta and other things stay in? Fine. The last thing we need here, which I didn't make you do on the problem set, but here it'll be helpful, is to actually write down what the person from the perspective of time period 1 will predict their period 2 preferences will be. Hang on one second, Alex. Did I make a mistake? Okay, hang on. And all we do is we put a little hat on all the betas. So from the perspective of time period 1, this person looks forward, and they predict that their period 2 self will have preferences defined by beta hat B plus P minus C here, and this, of course, is 0, and by beta hat B minus C here. And now we've modeled simultaneously the naive and the sophisticate. Question?
Another slide, the naive one paying face value?
Yes.
What do you mean by mean the numbers back cost dollars and never pay more than dollars?
Right. So if P, say, was $10, right, the naive would never pay more than their predicted face value. So if they predict they'll go, they would never pay more than $10.
So they predicted they'll go 10 times, they'll never pay more than $100.
Right, right. Because why would you? Because the only thing you're going to get out of this thing is money. Okay? And in fact, what I'll show you in a minute is that they would almost always pay less because it's making them go to the gym and they don't like that. Right? At least if it's making them go to the gym times when they otherwise wouldn't want to, which is bad. So that's the game tree. Now we can use this to answer some questions, not just what would... Right, we don't know what anyone will do because we don't have actual numbers in here. But we can still use this to do some work. So let's just confirm that the naive will be inclined to mispredict and the sophisticate won't. So who will mispredict? Here's what needs to be true in order to mispredict. With a contract. Okay, I'm talking about mispredicting your attendance with a contract. So the subject will attend if the period 2 payoff that they get, right, discounted health benefit plus immediate incentive minus the effort cost is greater than 0, right? That's the actual attendance decision. Subject predicts she will attend at period 1 if beta hat times B plus P minus C is greater than 0, okay? Misprediction means that you predicted you would go when you wouldn't, which is to say that beta hat B plus P minus C, which is how much you thought you were going to, which is when you thought sorry, let me just write it and you'll see what I'm saying. It must be the case if you mispredict that beta hat B plus P minus C was greater than beta B plus P minus C, and that, if you just do some quick math, is the same thing as saying that beta hat must be greater than B, and that's the definition of naivete. Okay? So this thing here is sort of it's the left-hand side of the decision rule for when you think you'll go, and this is the left-hand side of the decision rule for when you will actually go. So if you think you'll go when you won't, it must be the case that your predicted utility for going was greater than your actual utility for going, which can only happen in this model if you believe that you won't, that if you believe you'll have less of a self-control problem in the future than you actually will. Okay? So you have to be naive in order to mispredict. Okay? At least partially naive. The sophisticate, for whom beta hat is equal to beta, will never mispredict. All right, who will pay more than the predicted face value? Now this is a little bit more complicated, but it's important that you sort of see, or at least get a flavor of why we write down these kinds of models, because we want to be able to confirm mathematically that under certain conditions, this observation will be proof of this finding, and this observation will be proof of that finding. Okay? So who will pay more than the predicted face value? Let's consider the naive, and let's look at two different cases. So let's consider the case where the subject predicts that he would attend without a contract and would attend with a contract. So going to attend one way or the other. What does that mean? The conditions under, so for that to be the case, it must be the case that his predicted utility for attending under the contract, right, which is this, okay, is greater than 0, and that his predicted utility for going without the contract is greater than 0. Now, since that thing's bigger than that thing, that's the only one we have to care about, right? And since beta hat is equal to 1, what that means is that the naive will predict that he will go whether or not he has a contract only if the long-term benefit, undiscounted long-term benefit, is greater than the undiscounted immediate cost, right? He thinks he's going to be rational in the future. He thinks, I'm only going to go if it's worth it, if it's really genuinely worth it, okay? So, knowing that, let's ask how much the naive would be willing to pay for this contract. Now, that's determined by this buying decision rule. The rule is buy if, right, the discounted benefit at time 1 of buying the contract, right? So that's minus f, right? Yeah, minus f, right? So if you think you're going to go either way, this is what you're going to get as of period 1. This is your discounted utility for buying the contract and going to the gym, okay? And what you're saying is that if that thing has to be greater than the discounted utility of not buying the contract, which is this thing, right? If I buy the contract, I'm out f, but I pick up beta times p, and without the contract, I'm just going to get the discounted future benefit minus cost.